What's up, guys? Hey, Coma, how you doing? Sorry it took so long to get live. I left 2 tabs open. One of them had 12 gigabytes of virtual memory, and the other one was like 16. So my computer was not having a good time, but it's running now. Brandon, how you doing, man? Yeah. So I'm waiting on a potential SFP for Bitcoin. It's a big ask, but if we get it, oh boy, we could end up seeing some volume to bring up the price. And we have a deadline for Bitcoin to get above here at 114,700 by the end of the day before the daily candle closes. And then we'll have a daily SFP. I'm pretty pumped. Let's see. Good afternoon, Noah. How you doing, man? Yonel, what's up? Sports Zone. How come I didn't get stopped out last night? I left a little bit of breathing room in it. I should have been more clear on the stop. I normally tell you guys exactly where I put my stop loss to the dollar, but this was the invalidation point, and I just had barely enough breathing room. And on Blowfin, it didn't go this low either, and I managed to like hold it until the morning here. I closed it due to a sell wall. I got super busy, and then I notified people that I closed when we got around here again. Normally, I'm really clear with my signals and where I put my stop loss, where I'm targeting. I was clear with my target, but I wasn't clear with my stop loss. Sorry about that, guys. But here, we're hoping for another scenario. We had 3 SFPs simultaneously, back to back, like nonstop. The target for like this SFP wasn't as clear as these two, because here we were looking at the supply concern here, right? And that's what we were targeting at that time. But now we have established a high here after we like got this double top and we got acceptance back below the VWAP. Some people might have closed because of that in reaction, but this was around like 2 o'clock in the morning for me. So I would have likely closed here, taking the very, very small gain or probably break even from fees. And then got another opportunity, a better opportunity actually, to jump in here. If I like break down why we entered the trade, we have this low right here from this previous wick. We came down, we grabbed the liquidity, right? And on this candle, we confirmed an SFP, like a legacy SFP on this one here once it closed. But if I remember, yeah, we came down, we held, I didn't jump in immediately because I figured we can probably get better risk to reward ratio and better entry if it pulled back a little bit first. And I jumped in around here and turn this area here and then put my stop loss below the SFP low. We didn't hit the target, unfortunately. We came up. Luckily, I got a second opportunity. Some people closed right after we lost the VWAP. Some people just closed a little bit earlier than that. But now we're getting another opportunity. So we had one here. We had one here, local, grabbing this liquidity here from this SFP wick. Came up, you'd be targeting this high. Did we take that high? We just barely undercut it. And then we had another SFP right here. But if you're using like the 30-minute time frame or even the 15, like your R&R might not have been fun jumping in on this one. And when you're targeting that high, when the candle closed is way up here. So the R&R from here to here wasn't great. But now we're getting suppressed by a sell wall at 115,700. And it kind of how this downtrend started after we lost this range that we've been in here for a little while. We were in this range for about 16 days, 15 hours. And then a giant sell wall appeared around here. And then we've been struggling to get past it. And there's about 500 Bitcoin left before we use it as resistance again. Then we hit the point of control as resistance. And then we lost the valley area. Now we've deviated quite far from the value area. So this is our last little shot before we could lose this value area and potentially fall down to as low like 112K. And we have a still demand zone here and one right here that could hold Bitcoin's price action up and cause a reversal. This one's relatively weak in comparison to this. So if we lose this, we might only get a little bit of consolidation before just continuing down, honestly. But I'm hoping that we get the SFP, because if we get the low time frame SFP, like the 30-minute or even the 15-minute, oops, I deleted an indicator there, then we could get the daily SFP. If I zoom out on the daily, you can see it a little bit more clearly. We got to close above this wick level right here to confirm the SFP on the daily. So I'm hoping that we turn things around. We got 5 hours and 40 minutes. A lot could happen in crypto in 5 hours. So if we get that lower time frame SFP opportunity, it could drive the price up, gives enough momentum to close above here, giving us the daily, and then the daily, we could start targeting the value area low again, in hopes that we continue with acceptance into the value area to drive us up to the value area high. So cross our fingers if we see if we get something like that. Going down here, we are so far we've got about 11 minutes left, 11 minutes and 20 seconds to confirm this SFP. So here's the wick low that we need to close above to confirm the SFP to have a higher probability of us hitting the target of this high. We would want to close above here. You don't necessarily have to. All we need to do is close above here to confirm the SFP. But if we close above this body and get a body acceptance inside the range, then it increases our probability of hitting the SFP target. So that's what I'm kind of waiting on. I'm hoping that we can take this trade during this live. All we need is the SFP and I'm jumping in. So it'll look something like this. Long position tool around here, minimum around here, right? And stop loss below the wick. You can give it a little bit of breathing room if you'd like. The invalidation point is the wick itself. So a lot of people put their stop loss right below the wick, but we could have that local SFP sweep before coming up, and those are kind of irritating. So like jumping on the SFP and then seeing a local one and then having to jump in again. So we got 10 minutes before that confirms, guys. And we'll be targeting, yeah, we got this order block here on the 30-minute. So we can target something like the equilibrium point of the order block. And the equilibrium point, for those of you who don't know, is just think of it like the center point of the order block. So target around there and hope for continuations. I'm gonna get logged into Blowfin really quick. There we go. So once I log in on one computer, it signs me out of the other. I'm sure you guys go through that too, but it's kind of annoying. Okay, almost in. All right, I'm logged into Blowfin. All right, let's hope we get this trade. 9 minutes. We got some extra confluence here if we get this SFP. We're tapping this demand zone, right? So that's one form of confluence. We get the SFP, we got the deviation to value area. The one little concern I have along the way to our target is just the VWAP right here. If we were to take profits right at the VWAP for some reason, it's still decent R&R based on like this being our entry point. It's healthy to, wherever the current wick is, you want to prepare your risk. We got lots of people coming in. Touche. love the name. Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks, man. Good morning, Brett. Jason, what's up? Trip. This was an L for you. Some people took profits early. Yeah, it was a bit of a bummer that we didn't get all the way up here, but I'm glad I got a win after taking a break for a couple days. Okay. 7 minutes left. Just gonna pull up the PVSRA. Okay. Sam Zerker, 113.65, week 7, July. VWAP, which is just, oh, cool, right on. July 7th VWAP. I'm just trying to find the significance of that. One sec here. Is it a high? No. Start of this trend. Okay. Confirmation of the trend. So this will be the first time tapping it. Good eye, man. All right. Jose, you took profits right when you saw 3 red candles on the 5-minute because I wanted to go to bed and felt good about my R&R. Oh, yeah. Just going to go to sleep without worrying about your trade. It's also a good reason to close your trade, too. End up doing successful short this morning as well off the resistance. Nice. Good job, man. Lux Algo released amazing VWAP. It really helps. That's all. That's how I know. Oh, that's how you know. Yeah, you can use anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP is super helpful off the start of a trend or start of a month or start of the year. 5 minutes left on this candle here, guys. And then I can start taking requests. I just don't want to miss the trade. That's all. And of course, it will probably not confirm the way we want it, just to be rude. It's where's our poor R&R? Are we right around here? We're targeting the. Okay. 4 minutes. And yeah, it should provide enough momentum, hopefully, to stay above this level and get that daily SFP follow through on this trade setup. And this could be a great front run to that daily SFP. Hey, Kyle, is there a rule? Isn't there a rule 4 touches where it breaks through support or resistance on the 4th attempt to the downside? There's higher probability, yes. The more taps into a demand zone or a supply concern, the more likely it is to break through it, like chipping away at armor. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4. A lot of people actually look for 3 before considering a reversal, especially in Bitcoin. With alts, it's actually a little more common to see a 4th tap. But this is our first time tapping into this specific little demand zone. We got 3 minutes left before that confirms. But yeah, this little, where we had this impulse move up, builds a little base, another impulse move up. And this is our first time tapping into this level. But yeah, we're seeing the 4 consecutive SFPs. It's just insane to me. Great content again. Keep focused on the trade though. Thanks, man. I appreciate the tip. £12. I'm actually trying to lose 12 pounds. Thanks, man. What leverage we thinking? So that's a, you could use something like 10x, but it's all like subject. You don't technically need to worry too much about that unless you're using high leverage. If you're using a super high amount of leverage, like there's gonna be a based on your drawdown, there's gonna be a limitation to how much leverage you're allowed to use. So you couldn't use 100x leverage, for example, on this. You'd likely get knocked out. We're getting a higher probability structure. If we close above, like I said before, if we close above these bodies, there's a higher probability of hitting the top side here. I'm pretty confident we're going to get this S&P. We only have a minute left, minute and 40 seconds left. What do we have in the 15? The 15. Yeah, it'll close simultaneously. Are we on the hourly? We'll get an hourly SFP in confluence with everything in 30 minutes. But that 30-minute one is in the 15-minute one. Yeah, 30-minute is a good one to go after. But the leverage, I'll probably be using something like 20x if you're wondering how much leverage I'll use. You can use less than that. It doesn't matter. It's all about making sure you're consistent with your volume and how much volume you use. Well, it's all about being consistent with your stop loss budget, right? And that could impact how much volume you use, how much margin you use, stuff like that. I'm pulling up. Okay, 40 seconds till we get the confirmation. Now there's two things you could do here. You could hope for a drawdown a little bit more to jump in on the drawdown, kind of similar to what we did before, but you risk the opportunity doing that. So it might not come down to give you that better R&R, right? Get my market. I'm going to use 20x leverage, confirm. I'm using Blowfin for this trade. So I'm looking for, let me just pull up the 15-minute. It might be unique based on your exchange, guys. So make sure you check your exchange. And copy this price, TP, advanced, enter stop loss. So now I'm going to adjust this to make sure I risk to lose $10, right, for the challenge. My goal is to get close to $10 as possible. We just confirmed. I'm going to enter a long now. Okay, my stop loss is right below the wick at 113,569.8. Okay, and then I always manage my risk first, then I start to manage my TP. I'm going to be reactional to my stop loss, my take profit. I'm not just going to set up a passive exit. Passive exits are great if you're using limit orders to help save you on fees, but they could also cut you in terms of opportunity. Because if you do not see a bearish reaction here, we get that continuation, we break through these highs, then we're set, right? We can have a strong continuation and our R&R could evolve to be much higher. Now, I do want to let the community know really quick that I did enter this trade. Entered Bitcoin long off. My stop loss is, where's my tab for? So 113,569.8. Okay, here we go. I don't like Discord's new update. I used to have this really cool template, and it kind of now everything's all gray whenever you use emmed coding. Kind of annoying. All right, so we got the InvestiShare signal out. We got the Fanova signal out. And let's give it to the Otter Gang too here. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're in. Oh, I'm in, right? So we got 2 spots to react. We got the VWAP to worry about. We've got the order block, which is our primary target. And we can be hopeful that we'll break through this sell wall. I'm going to take a look at the order books really quick. If it wants to load for me. Refresh. There we go. Okay, so we have some confidence here at 115,090 for the amount of 300 Bitcoin. Yeah. So 115.90. So I'm just going to move this line here, 115.90. There we go. So roughly around the VWAP, we can see people playing to sell. And my entry point on the exchange, 114.183. There we go. So now this is aligned with almost aligned. I got to get my stop loss price written here. So you guys can see it as it is on my exchange. 290. There 690. There we go. Cool. All right, we're in. We're set. I can delete this. Hopefully we don't get a local SFP and we just go right to the target. This is a good time to try to get in at a better price than I did, basically. This is what I mean. When you ever have an SFP like this, you know that your invalidation point is here. So you could try to get in between the point where it confirmed and this SFP invalidation point. So anything within this window is a valid entry point now, right? Because we had that confirmation already. Same thing with changes of character. When you see a change of character reaction, right? You could use like fibs once things look weak to define like a potential entry level between the invalidation point, which would be the strong low after your change of character. So between this point and this point, you could try to be getting in within this window, right? And having this as your stop loss guard. But if you feel like, for example, if you see that it has confirmed in like a fair value gap, for example, or a volume gap in that confirmation area, then sometimes I'll just jump right in and not wait for the drawback because the probability of it drawing back is reduced. So I'll just take it and jump in when we're in those FEGs or if we're in those volume gaps, because we tend to move quickly within them. Okay, here we go. All right, so now that we gone through all that, let's see. We have, where's TP? TP is around 115,400. That's our primary area of reactions, right? And between the VWAP and here, we're going to be looking for negative reactions, like an opposing change of character. And if we get that, then we can prepare for our exit. And hopefully we get instead a continuation structure to hopefully break past this area and potentially bring us back to the valley area. If we get that valley area acceptance through a break of structure, then we can start targeting the valley area high again while being mindful of the downtrending momentum where the sell wall kind of began here that helped drive the price down. Okay. What's a good size for a trade like this? It's all relative to your account size. So if you're trading with $100, you should be risking to lose $1 to try to gain 2 or more, right? So it's all based on your unique journey as a trader and what you want to plan to budget. Now, like, if you are trying to make a living off of trading and for it to be your primary source of income, then that question could be answered based on like your account size is going to have to be able to support your income. Most people need an account size of like $10,000 to be able to live off of their trading account, because at that point you'd be risking to lose $100 to trading 200 or more. It all is kind of like relative to the trader. And everything is like, if you're just starting out and you just found out that you're profitable through back testing with your strategy or through practice with SFPs and forward testing with small values or demo accounts, then like, yeah, you got to start somewhere, man. If you're starting with $100, you can grow your way up to a 200, then risk to lose like $2 to gain 4, grow up to 1,000, risk to lose $10 to gain 20. Like right now, I'm trading with the $1,000 account to, work our way up to that $1 million total. So I'm starting right now. It's kind of boring, but yeah, right now I'm risking to lose like $10 to try to gain. Right now in this scenario, about just above $20 before fees. Let's see. New comments. Hey Kyle, the price didn't touch the 50% of the fair value gap, either the 0.382 or neither of the 0.382. Do you think the price will go down to reach it? Like this is, we have a bullish SFP off top of a demand zone. So sometimes there are barriers to certain events to occur. I think it's very possible for us to go down to reach it, but we got to take what the market gives you and not let analysis paralysis prevent you from taking action when certain events occur. So we had a bullish response telling us that price action's probability of reaching the top of this range is much higher now. So we're going to take what the market gives us, man. So it's possible to get a 200% gain from this. Well, it's possible to double your risk on something like this. Yeah, for sure. But I wouldn't say doubling your entire account. Just doubling your risk. If you're putting your entire account into a trade, then you're not going to last very long as a trader, unfortunately. All it takes is one loss and you're out. You want to split your risk into pieces. So like, for example, if you're risking to lose 1%, you split your account into 100 pieces. So it'll take 100 consecutive losses for you to lose your entire account. But it's super important to manage your risk appropriately. So like if you want 200%, we're going to need to go somewhere around here. 200% of your risk. Yeah. Get right into that supply zone. That'd be great. You've taken 12 losses straight and lost over 30% of your account. It is what it, it is. What it is. Yeah, I had a rough July. July kicked my butt. I think I had it was the biggest losing streak I've had since 3 years. So I've documented my trades since April of 2022, and I never had a losing streak that big. We're looking at for a stop loss. All right, cool. Got that answered. Kyle, what's the real difference between CISD and a change of character reaction? That's a good question because I don't even know what CSID means. A change in state of delivery is a reversal trading pattern where price momentum shifts suddenly from bearish to bullish or vice versa. Oh, it's ICT style. Okay. Trading concept. So I might already know what that means. It's just not based on that abbreviation or the terminology. So it's a unique form of reversal structure. I'll learn all about that, and so I can help you answer that question in the future, man. It's a form of market structure shift. Yeah, I've been trading since I've been profitable since late 2019, and yeah, there's still always something for me to learn, man. I can look into that. That sounds cool. It's a lot like if anyone in here are musicians, you'll kind of understand that when you're trading, there's tons of different ways to analyze the market. It's like learning different songs. There's an infinite amount of songs to learn on a guitar, just like there's like an infinite amount of ways to look at the market. Just a matter of back testing those different ways to make sure that they're accurate and provide you a solid win rate. EVA, CSID is something very different. Yeah, you probably know. How long have you been expecting until the dip, until the TP area? Well, that's a good question. Once we have your very first break of structure, then you can start drawing momentum, and that momentum will give you an ETA of how long it would take for us to get there. But we have yet to get any form of momentum. You can go into like lower time frames to draw momentum to try to give yourself an edge and find that information sooner rather than later. So right now we're on the 5. So if we get that pullback and then a higher high, then we can start drawing momentum like this and find out. I find the 15-minute momentum to be really reliable on giving you information. But sometimes when you start going to lower time frames for momentum, they tend to break. They're a lot weaker, easier to manipulate than others. So I don't have an answer for you yet. What I am hoping for is us to at least get above 114,700 before the daily candle closes. So we can get that daily SFP to help us with a follow through on our target. So if we get that daily SFP, then I'm going to be trying to hold this trade a lot longer. Hopefully into the value area here. We have about 5 hours and 13 minutes left before this daily candle closes. And for us to hopefully get that daily SFP here. So I'm not able to give you the answer yet, but the market will give you that answer soon. There's an entire CRT strat utilizing CISD entries. We've been using that in InvestiShare the past year. Yeah. 113, 150 is liquidation Bitcoin heat map. Yeah. It really gives the double top vibes in the 2-minute time frame. Yeah. You'll have some low time frame stuff go against you. I could see. We can either turn this into potential unclaimed high double top, or we can see it like pen it your way to a continuation. Either way, even if it breaks to the downside, the invalidation point is still right here, despite what happens internally. It's not fun when it goes against you, but as long as you have your invalidation point set for your stop loss, you shouldn't be, your probability getting stopped out is much lower, right? Okay, so to help make this trade a little more emotionless, let's look at some other assets here for you guys. Got to be the toughest market to trade right now. Well, then the news has been causing crazy volatility that we're not kind of used to in crypto. The biggest thing we had to worry about before was in FOMC meetings. Now it's Trump whenever he talks, right? Trump and Elon having their little fights, and yeah. You want to look at Solana? Yeah, let's do it, man. See what we have. In between TA request, I'll look at some assets here for you guys. Okay, so last time we looked at Solana is when we got into this valley area here. Valley area high and low. I'm going to zoom out a bit here. It's a little confusing. Oh, okay, I see. Right, we're at this valley area low here. Valley area high. We got rejected off a previous valley area high. We lost momentum. We were suggesting, it looks like I drew a suggestion that we're likely going to lose momentum, especially after a tap of that VWAP. We lost it. Came down here, expected a potential bounce around this area. We got the bounce, but it didn't follow through to the opposite side of this level here. Congrats to anyone who might have profited off that. Now we are way down here. So we got some relative weakness on Solana. It has plummeted much further down than Bitcoin has. Delete some of this noise here. Got a lot of noise down here. I'm sorry, guys. Not all this is helpful noise either. We have this zone here of interest. I'm going to delete this, delete that. Pull this fixed range, adapt it, adjust the valley area levels that we've got drawn already. Okay, so we're trying to hold off of this previous valley area high right now. Acceptance into it would likely give us a follow through to hitting 159.02, which works well in confluence with Bitcoin. If we were to lose this level, we'd likely come down to 112K, right? If we come down to 112K, then Solana would likely come down to 159.09. So zoom in and see if there's any structural confluence with what's going on with Bitcoin's posture. It looks like Solana's a little bit more ugly compared to Bitcoin. Got this descending channel. So the pace of the buyers are here. Pace of the sellers here. We got this descending channel taking liquidity from below, stacking liquidity from above. Higher probability to break to the upside because of that nature. We could see an SFP on Solana as well of these lows. I would mark these two wicks right here S&P level. Get your magnet tool out. Make sure it clings on to the price action properly. There we go. And clone it. I'm gonna add another one right here on this low. These are two levels where you could expect a potential SFP. If we SFP off this, I'll be very mindful of this high and be hopeful for a continuation to the VWAP. We got confluence of a previous value low, downtrending momentum alongside this VWAP by the time price action potentially catches up to that area. We did just have an SFP here, a local one, where we swept this low on the 15-minute and closed back inside of the body range. But there wasn't very much left for it to go after that. It could have gone to around here, but yeah. So the invalidation point for like this SFP is here, but where you target, it's just likely just roughly around here. So we could come down and sweep another low, get 3 taps, the local 3 tap, and then ride back up to this area here. Watch the order books for Solana 2 and see if there's any sell walls in confluence with these areas, the VWAP, the value area low, and the momentum to tell you where to undercut. So if you see a giant sell wall, try to undercut it by just a little bit to make sure you exit before they do. Bitcoin, how you doing, man? Going a little bit against us still. On the 5. And if we break this high, I'm going to move my stop loss below this low here. Okay. So Solana. I'm not able to listen right now. What's the target for the trade? I will put it in the comments here for you. That's our primary target, but we might go beyond it, hopefully. Rate cuts in September? Maybe. I don't think it'd be a good idea. Oh, we were talking about that in the server today. Actually, the non-farm employment does technically increase the probability of them doing some cuts, but I don't think it's a great idea to do cuts based on the tariffs. It could be impacting their. Yeah, I would suggest waiting until the tariffs dust settles before making any rate cuts, in my opinion. XRP, Syrup. Okay, so we looked at Solana, looked at Bitcoin. Caliphant wants to look at Syrup. I doubt we have a Syrup chart, so I'm just going to pull. Syrup. Let's go on BitGet chart. It's a 30-minute. In 30-minute, we had a great SFP here after breaking down trending momentum. Get the 30-minute SFP. Get the change of character reaction. Oh man, I love this indicator. It just saves me a lot of time to reading all this stuff. But yeah, got the change of character reaction. We got above the VWAP simultaneously with that. So the SFP would have been a great front run to this potential move. You'd be a little bit nervous with this high, of course, being so closely alongside the VWAP. But when you got that break, you feel pretty confident about your trade after that. And yeah, it ran up to this supply concern. We had a 30-minute order block here. Mitigated it, created a new one. Let's see what we have. Larger time frames. Let's go to the 4-hour. Oh, well, okay, we had a 4-hour SFP too. The 4-hour SFP suggests a target of this high. So we could try to get that continuation structure to bring us here. And zoom out on the 4-hour. Grab a fixed range volume profile. This thing would have been nice to trend trade, man. Hitting our head off the value area low. We got like a triple distribution vibes here. Like 3 mountains, right? If you see these, treat them all as if they're their own point of control. Will have a lot of influence over the price action. However, where most of the volume resides is here. Pull a, get our value area high. So we're in a spot where you typically want to prepare for longs for sure. And we got the SFP confluence. We've got that lower time frame change of character leading into the value area. Now we just need that acceptance into the value area, so we could potentially see that reversal back up to the value area high again. Price value. Oh, we got to adjust that one sec here. Text. There we go. So yeah, right now we're kind of hitting our head off of the value area low and this little supply concern here. So we've breached past this. We could come back up, retest the value area low, and maybe give us that inverse head and shoulders kind of vibes to allow us to have that liquidity stack and drive the price up to the value area high. But one little step at a time. It's trying to get there right now. We just need that break of structure off these highs here, and then we can potentially see that continuation that we kind of want to see on the higher time frames. Low time frames look super bullish. The 30-minute looks really bullish. We just need to see that follow through in the higher time frames. And the move from here to the high is about 30% move. So just be mind, mark your levels. 48.70 is a key level to watch out for. Where you just got to get past this little boss here first before expecting to move on to the next one. After getting acceptance here, I'll be targeting around 56.80 and just watching the POC like a hawk. It's looking good though. Let's go back to Bitcoin. How you doing, man? Oh man, are we just super close to our stop loss? Just gonna zoom in on lower time frames here, see what we have. Bit of a tweezer reaction. I'm gonna take a look and see if there's a buy wall there in the order books that could be protecting our stop loss. 113.5. 113.510. About 300 Bitcoin-ish. Yeah, 370. 113.510. So there's a buy wall just below our stop loss right here. Bunch of people trying to get in right here. The price cannot get past this area unless those buy walls filled. Just like the sell wall here. Cannot breach past this area until that sell wall is filled. Usually during situations like this, I would have my stop loss below the wall. But that's only if the wall developed during my trade setup. So what you're doing is you're risking more than your budget if you adjust your stop loss prior. I might get stopped out. We have, let's mark the buy wall here. 300. Or we could just pull out the magnet tool. Then all will be fine, right? That's what we need to do. Weekly VWAP close. Kyle, I can't see your PTC chart anymore because it's now Syrup. Yeah. Whenever I rotate between assets, you will see what I rotate between. Can we look at DOT? Do you leave room for your stop loss for those scammy stop loss wicks before reversing? Sometimes, yeah. It depends on what exchange you're trading on. If you're trading on something like KuCoin or MEXC, I'd definitely suggest it. XRP, please. Oops, my bad. I accidentally inspected the page. All right, this is last time we looked at XRP, we were looking at this key level that if broken, we would be targeting around this area, preparing for a reversal. We never got that break, unfortunately. And where we were anticipating a bounce was around here. Let's see, we hit this little mini supply zone, came down, can delete that now. Expecting a potential bounce here. Only got a small one before hitting our head off the previous point control. But now we're down below this previous valley area low from a previous valley area data from this here to here. We do have our own valley area here that actually we can pull as well. Don't have to use just the historical data. I'm just drawing it until we left it. Now that we have new data here, we can delete this. Add the new level. New levels here. POC and valley area high. Keep selecting the wrong one. It's technically previous until we get acceptance into it, but we had this little demand zone here to help us with these entries here, but now we fully mitigated it. So we're going to delete this. We broke downtrending momentum recently. Internal momentum right here. We got this like Model 1 inverse head and shoulders structure. We hit our head off of the valley area low. And now we're starting to see that drawback, kind of building a potential kind of like bull flag kind of posture on XRP. Let's go back to Bitcoin for a quick sec. It's awfully close. Let's go into the 5 here to refine. So we got the pace of the buyers and sellers drawn here for this internal range. We got our bullish change of character. on the 5-minute. Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, we're close, but we just need to get that break of structure continuation outside of this downtrend momentum. There could be sellers alongside this trend line. So check the order books and see if there's a sell wall here. If there is a sell wall here, then we will likely not get that higher high. We could come back down to retest these lows where liquidity is likely resting. But I'm hopeful for the break of structure because that would work well in confluence with Bitcoin. And we're very super close to getting stopped out there, but we're on a 3-minute. Getting that 5-minute SFP on the low. Let me check my exchange. I want to make sure I'm not stopped out. Because what you see here, this is Bybit's chart. All right, I'm barely still in. Just gave it that little tiny bit of breathing room. Getting that golfing response in the 3-minute. Getting a golfing response in the 5. Getting a slight 15-minute SFP and 30-minute local one. If we SFP, then our target's here for this new structure. And if our target, we breach past this target, we will double bottom. And that double bottom will help us follow through to our primary target. Make our magnet a little bit bigger. I'll go back to XRP. Yeah, same kind of concept. We need to have that break of structure for the continuation. Get that continuation. The trade itself, good flag. Technical target. The momentum-based target suggests a $3.10 move. Like a move to $3.10, sorry. Which would be about 2.64% from our confirmation level, which is right here. Okay. Hope that helps you out, Jordan. I wonder if BlackRock, okay, so Sam's saying, I wonder if BlackRock or Sailor buy Bitcoin on weekends or they have to wait till Monday and Friday in New York's. They mostly buy during the weekdays, but I'm not sure if they have any limitations to when they're allowed to buy. It's not like the stock market right now. The stock market will likely flip to become a 24/7 environment, and then regulations and a whole bunch of stuff is going to change alongside that. So I don't think they're limited to it, but I bet if we had a group of traders actually dictating when Michael Saylor were to buy, they would be doing much better because they just seem to buy whatever. Doesn't seem like, based on their chart where you can track Michael Saylor's accumulation, it doesn't seem like they have like a strategy of when they buy. They just buy to hold long term. They're just in it for the long haul. The Bitcoin chart isn't included in the toolbox. Okay, I might need to update it because it did change. I did change my chart because I had so much drawings on the other one that the virtual memory of it made the chart super slow. I'm gonna send this back. See. I'll send this back. I do gotta head out soon, guys. My son's about to be picked up, so I have to leave. I'll give it about. I'll do one more. Let's see. Constantine. Look at hype. So hype losses 50-day EMA. That's rough. Last time we were looking at hype, we were talking about this falling wedge posture leading into the demand zone. We got the break of our key level, but you could have rotated it since we last looked at the chart to here. When we pulled back, create this high, get the lower low. We changed our key level to this retest moment. Either way, this became a key level afterwards for people jumping in late for an inverse head and shoulders, watching this valley area low as our barrier. We drew like this pathing that suggestive pathing that we could end up coming up to here. The technical target for it is technically here at this point of control where the wedge started. And we just about hit that target shortly afterwards before hitting that like point of control and then coming down. We have kind of maintained this momentum a bit here. You can adjust it, kind of sync it with price action a little bit better. We can delete this now. It's not helpful to us anymore. But after losing the 50-day EMA with that brick structure, we've fallen quite a bit. Let's zoom out. We can delete this. We can delete that. We're coming back down to this previous value area high. We have a separate value area that we could use to help assist us in the behavior of a hype as well. We got value area low deviation. It doesn't look like it's wanting to slow down for it. We just had that recent bounce off of it, and that's about it. So I'll be preparing for potential support on hype around this previous value area high. But if we get acceptance within this as well with the brick structure, it could come down lower. We got previous point control that's relatively strong here. And then finally come back down to here. We've got some liquidity that's likely resting below these lows where you can expect potential reversal price action off of them if we see large actors using that liquidity as entry liquidity. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we find support here because if we lose that, then hype has got a lot of pairing liquidity with other assets. So a lot of them will bleed alongside with hype. He's got his own DEX, right? So a lot of pairing liquidity alongside with hype. So I'm kind of hopeful that it recovers around this area so it doesn't destroy people's portfolios. So this is a little bit of a make it or break it moment around here relative to the value area data that we have. So the pathing that I'm hopeful for, we don't have any key levels just yet that are local to the price action. So we need consolidation to hopefully define a reversal point. This is my hopeful area here for you. If not here, watch this low. I don't like the placement of this low. When I'm looking for liquidity to trade off of, I usually want to see it at a value area low or at a value area high and not in between. Just my preference for increased probability of winning the trade. So if we don't find support off this value area high, I'll be looking for potential liquidity grabs around $32, $31.59 area, right around here. How are we doing Bitcoin? Stopped out likely. Let's take a look at the chart. Blowfin. Where's my Blowfin? Here. Okay, yeah, I got stopped out. Bummer. Okay. Doesn't mean there's not an opportunity here, but we'll have to wait until like a better picture presents itself. That sucks because I really wanted that daily S&P follow through, and now our probability of getting that is a lot lower. You just got in a Bitcoin long. Okay, man. Careful. We're in a weird spot right now. We're like starting to get acceptance potentially in this demand zone. Hopefully we get that another SFP for you and then drive the price up for you after that. What's your win rate since starting the challenge? Pretty damn low. 30, looks like here, 37.5%. It's not great. All right, guys, I got to head out. My son's being picked up, so I just want to make sure I'm able to say goodbye to him before he leaves. Can you check Dot for a swing trade? I will get to you in the Discord. And hopefully, yeah, reach out to me in the Discord and I'll help you out, man. But I got to head out. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you in the, yeah, I'll talk to you in the Discord there. I'll be live again on Monday at 8:30 a.m. So I'll see you guys there. You have a great day. I believe in me too. Appreciate it. It does suck to be like publicly getting my ass kicked, but I've grew a much smaller account to a much larger account sizes than this, and I've done it multiple times. So I know I can do it again. Just a matter of proper risk management, and luckily the risk management allowed me to stay in the game from all those losses. Oh, it's rough, but I'll get there. All right, guys. Thank you. You have a great day. Appreciate everyone who's been liking, subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.